Does your indoor cat have a litter box in the bathroom, sleep on your bed every night, and get excited when you refill their food bowl to the brim? Then you might be accidentally breaking your cat's heart. And according to veterinarians, you're slowly damaging their health in ways you can't see. You think you're being a responsible cat parent by keeping them safe indoors, maintaining routines, and showing affection. But veterinary behaviourists are identifying 7 mistakes that 90% of indoor cat owners make. Small habits that trigger chronic stress, territorial anxiety, and even shortened lifespans. These aren't dramatic abuses, they're innocent decisions that seem logical, even loving. But cats experience their indoor environment completely differently than we imagine. What feels like care to us can feel like confinement to them. One of these mistakes is so damaging that vets call it the invisible health crisis, and we'll reveal which one does the most harm by the end of this video. Pay close attention to mistake number 4. Most of you are doing it right now without realizing it, and it takes just 24 hours to fix. Most indoor cat owners have one litter box, usually tucked in a bathroom or laundry room for convenience. Seems reasonable, 1 cat, 1 box, but this violates the fundamental rule veterinarians call the N+1 formula, the number of cats plus 1 additional box in separate locations. A 2018 study in the Journal of Feline Medicine found that single-box households showed 67% higher stress markers in cats' blood work. Why? Cats are territorial eliminators who instinctively create separate bathroom zones. 1 box forces them to violate their own safety protocols, like forcing you to sleep in your bathroom. The stress is silent but cumulative. It manifests as urinary issues, inappropriate elimination, and chronic anxiety. Your cat isn't being difficult, they're experiencing a territorial security crisis every single day. But the litter box isn't the mistake that vets say causes the most damage. That revelation is coming, and it's something almost everyone does with the best intentions. You keep the food bowl constantly full because you love them and want them never to feel hungry. This seems compassionate, but veterinary nutritionists call this ad libitum feeding, and it's directly linked to the feline obesity epidemic. 58% of American cats are now overweight. The issue isn't just portion size, it's behavioural. Cats are natural hunters who need 10 to 15 small meals per day, each requiring effort to catch. A perpetually full bowl removes the hunt, eat, rest, hunt cycle that regulates their metabolism and mental stimulation. Dr. Sarah Ellis's 2015 research at Lincoln University demonstrated that free-fed cats showed measurably higher boredom markers and lower activity levels. The full bowl you think prevents hunger actually creates what behaviourists call learned helplessness. Your cat stops engaging with food as a reward, leading to mindless eating and weight gain that shortens their lifespan by 2 to 3 years. The food itself isn't the problem. It's the permanent availability that breaks their psychological feeding rhythm. Watch your cat approach a constantly full bowl. There's no excitement, no hunting crouch, no satisfaction. Just mechanical eating born from boredom, not hunger. And if you're realizing you might be making some of these mistakes, you're not alone. 90% of cat owners are doing at least 3 of these right now. But here's the thing, you can fix every single one starting tonight, and your cat will feel the difference within days. Subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming video on the easiest environmental enrichment strategies that take less than 5 minutes to set up. You rearrange furniture, bring home new items, or deep clean their favourite spots because you're maintaining a nice home. But to your cat, you're constantly destroying territorial markers they've spent weeks establishing. Cats create elaborate scent maps using facial pheromones. Those head bump zones on furniture corners, door frames, and your legs represent a security network. A 2019 Ohio State University study tracked cortisol levels in cats whose environments were frequently altered versus stable homes. The rearranged environment cats showed stress hormone levels equivalent to cats in shelter situations. When you wash their favourite blanket in strong detergent or move their cat tree to a different wall, you're not just cleaning, you're erasing their GPS system. Veterinary behaviourist Dr. Mikkel Delgado explains it this way. Imagine coming home every day to find someone has rearranged all your furniture, repainted your walls, and removed your family photos. That's what aggressive cleaning feels like to a cat. The anxiety manifests as over-grooming, hiding, or aggressive marking behaviours. Your cat isn't being vindictive. They're desperately trying to rebuild their demolished security map. Watch how they frantically rub their face on everything after you deep clean. That's not affection. That's panic reconstruction. You pick them up for cuddles, hold them when guests visit, or pet them whenever they're nearby because you adore them. But cats are consensual affection animals, and forced physical contact, even gentle, triggers what researchers call restrained stress. A landmark 2021 study published in Frontiers in Veterinary Science found that cats subjected to non-consensual handling showed elevated heart rates that remained high for 15 to 20 minutes after release. Unlike dogs, who've been bred for 30,000 years to tolerate human handling, cats retain their wild ancestors' autonomy instinct. When you pick them up without their invitation, their nervous system registers it as predator capture, even if they purr, which can be a self-soothing stress response, not pleasure. Dr. Karen Overall's research identifies this as a primary cause of sudden unprovoked aggression, cats reaching their tolerance threshold. The solution is simple but requires ego adjustment. Let them initiate. When your cat approaches and presents their head or rubs against you, that's consent. When you approach them, you're the hunter. This single shift can eliminate 80% of stress-based behavioral problems. Watch for the signs. A cat who wants affection will make eye contact, approach you, and often chirp or trill. A cat being approached will flatten their ears slightly, tense their muscles, or remain motionless. The difference is profound. Your indoor cat has the same toys, same climbing tree, same view out the same window, same routine year after year. You think this is stability. But veterinarians are now recognizing it as what's called environmental poverty, and it's causing an epidemic of what they term inactive cat syndrome. A devastating 2020 study from the University of California tracked indoor-only cats in static environments. 73% showed measurable cognitive decline by age 8, equivalent to dementia patterns. Cats are apex predators whose brains require novelty, problem-solving, and territorial expansion to remain healthy. In the wild, their range expands 5 to 7 acres. Your apartment or house represents 0.01 acres of unchanging terrain. Without environmental enrichment, rotating toys, puzzle feeders, new climbing configurations, even cardboard boxes introduced weekly, their brains literally shrink. Dr. Tony Buffington's landmark research calls this Pandora syndrome, a cascade of stress-related illnesses, cystitis, digestive issues, behavioral problems, all stemming from environmental understimulation. Your cat isn't lazy. They're experiencing learned helplessness in a world that never changes, never challenges, never satisfies their predatory intelligence. The stagnation you mistake for contentment is actually slow-motion psychological deterioration. What you're about to learn explains why your 8-year-old cat acts elderly. It's not age, it's environmental poverty masquerading as peaceful independence. Remember we said one mistake does the most damage, the one vets call the invisible health crisis. Here it is. You leave your indoor cat alone for 8 to 12 hours daily, thinking cats are independent solitary animals who prefer isolation. This belief is killing them. The science is brutal. A 2022 multi-university study published in Animals followed 3,000 indoor-only cats and found that those left alone for more than 6 hours daily showed a 340% increase in stress-related illness and lived an average of 3.7 years less than cats with companionship or environmental enrichment during alone time. Here's what veterinarians now know that shatters the aloof cat myth. Domestic cats are socially flexible animals who bond to their primary human as a secure base. When you leave, their cortisol spikes and remains elevated for hours. Chronic stress that damages organs, suppresses immunity, and creates behavioral deterioration. Dr. Kristin Vitale's groundbreaking attachment research proved that cats experience separation anxiety identically to dogs, but express it differently. Withdrawal, over-grooming, appetite changes instead of destruction. The isolation you think they prefer is actually abandonment trauma repeated daily. The solution isn't quitting your job, it's understanding that an indoor cat without environmental complexity, companionship or stimulation during your absence is experiencing something closer to solitary confinement than peaceful independence. That is what vets are desperately trying to tell you. The indoor safety you provide isn't enough. Without enrichment, your protection becomes their prison. And what you mistake for a cat's independence is actually learned helplessness in a world that never changes. 3.7 years. That's how much life you're losing with them because of this single mistake. Not because you don't love them, but because you believed the myth that cats thrive alone. You can change this tonight. Puzzle feeders, rotating toys, a second litter box in a different room, vertical space near windows, even a cat companion if they show social tendencies. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities for a species we've confined to spaces a fraction of their natural range. Your cat isn't asking for perfection. They're asking for a world that changes, challenges them, and acknowledges that the bond you share means they need you present, not just providing. Stop mistaking their silence for satisfaction. Start seeing their world through their eyes, because now you know what the vets know.